Okay, we are live. Thank you so much for joining everybody. Today we have a special guest. I'm so excited to introduce her. It's Sonya Janisse. Did I say that right?
You did. You
Okay,
did.
all right. And she is an intuitive dream coach and a fitness instructor. She also helps women overcome weight loss challenges. She helps them with alternative methods. So sometimes, we get stuck in that inability to lose weight, and we need other ways of doing it, right? So we get in that rut. And so she's there to help you find out how to do it in alternative ways that maybe you haven't even thought of. And so excited to have her today. And for those of you that don't know me, I am Tammy McKenzie. I am a balance and business coach, and I actually am a certified theta healer as well. And so just for those of you that are reaching out for the first time, you don't know who I am, just to let you know who I am. So you know. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Sonya really quick. For this duration, and we are going to talk about how to prevent burnout. So what are some of the things that women face? Because this is something that I have struggled with. I started an exercise regimen, and I will get burnout so fast that my energy drains, and I quit. So I know that there's other people out there that have busy schedules as a mom. They're, busy schedules as business owners. They're busy with life and all the stresses. And so sometimes exercise comes last because it's like they're already burnt out. And exercise can sometimes burn them out even more. So what would you say to a busy entrepreneurial mom out there, or anybody who's overstressed maybe with their job, how to avoid burnout and actually use the exercise to energize? Because I find sometimes it just drains me so much I don't even do it.
And I loved how you said that, Tammy. So first of all, thank you. Thank you, everybody listening in. And Tammy, thank you for this opportunity to just share a little bit of information about what I do and how I do it and how it makes a difference for those that are looking to upgrade and elevate their lives in any way. Because this isn't just one thing. This is a mix of modalities. Typically, when I work with people, we talk about topics such as mindset, movement, meals, and money. So today we're going to specifically talk about how the movement component makes a difference with our day-to-day lives and how you can find exercises that energize and how it makes a difference and rolls over to your personal and your professional career.
Awesome.
So the first thing I want to ask you is, you had talked about accountability, right? You had mentioned that you start off strong and you quickly drop out.
Right.
Yeah. So do you match, and just putting you on the spot here, Tammy, because you're the only one I can see, but do you match your accountability with your expectations or with your final result? So what I mean by that is, maybe you won't be satisfied unless you lose 50 pounds, hypothetically. Not that you have 15 pounds to lose, not what I'm saying. But hypothetically, most of us reward the end destination. We don't reward the journey along the way. So we give up way too soon.
Right. Well, having a chronic illness, it puts me in a different position. And so getting down to the core issue for me has been a key for me. But I find that it's just not realistic. It will cause anxiety. It will cause depression. It will cause me to have negative physical symptoms that make me realize I'm not in a space to do that to that level. And so I do little things like, stretching and, so the yoga, the dance, but I have to be really careful. So joining an exercise regimen is something, or joining a gym, I'd waste my money.
Right. But you know that about yourself, but you also know that you crave movement. You crave movement because it brings in, yes, right? And so that's what you've learned about yourself. That's what you're doing differently versus the past, right? The past, you would have perhaps joined that gym or thought about doing something a little bit different, but you're leaning into what you know works. And the reason why you know it works is because you've had results.
Right. Absolutely.
right? You've
Yes.
had increased energy. It has flowed over in other areas of your life, your other relationships, your other expectations. And it doesn't have to look in a certain shape or form, movement. It can be anything.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I
Okay.
love that.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be laps in the pool. It could be taking the dog for a walk routinely. It doesn't have to be the 10,000 steps that we're aiming for. It doesn't have to be a boot camp class.
Mm.
How I work with people is I find a solution that adapts to them and their lifestyle so we can integrate it into their life on the daily, and then we can keep it consistent because they're enjoying that element of their life and the benefits they're getting from it.
Okay. Awesome. I love that.
So what might start off as yoga for you might turn into a dance class after. You never know. But
Right.
you're moving every single day. And movement should look different for everybody because, like, you have a chronic illness. I have mobility restrictions when it comes to my ankles. I am progressing a lot. It's been 3 years now that I've been an injured athlete recovering. And that in itself is a mental toll. Just like when you're doing an exercise that you know you can't do and there are side effects, that's where the mental components going. Yes, you are capable. Yes, that's part of your story, but it's a completely different conversation to start off at a different, okay, I can't go back to where I was. That's not my starting point. I need to find out what works for me now based on the person and the routine and the life that I have now and what I'm aspiring to.
Awesome. So how would you bridge that gap? So let's say I wanted to start teaching dance classes again. So that's something that I have a goal to add that back in. I felt fine doing the yoga. I felt fine doing the dance classes. But when it came to, energetic alignment, for some reason, it drained me. And so I just stopped doing it because I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to I get all your invites and I'm like, I'm not ready for that, And so how does somebody bridge the gap? And I'm using myself as an example. I'm the guinea pig here. How do you bridge the gap? Because I value feeling at peace and I value feeling balance. And if I add an exercise regimen that someone else puts on, or I put that expectation on myself to do like a 30-minute dance class, I find that I don't know how I could energetically align with that, but for some reason it feels so energetically unaligned that I literally feel drained. And then I literally I'm flat on my back the next day. And this is something that I've struggled with on a deeper level. It started I think it was in about 2007 when I was I had a gym membership. I was teaching dance classes. I was a dance instructor, dance choreographer, and I was doing private dance choreography, and I was also working in other facilities. And I just felt so drained. I literally had a physical and mental breakdown. And so that's where it started. And then I remember in 2009, I could barely walk up the stairs. And so even just walking the stairs, I felt winded. So I've improved a lot since then. I mean, I can do Tai Chi and yoga now. I couldn't even do that at that point. Because you can get so rock bottom and you can hit such a low level that even exercise sends you into fight and flight. And so how do you bridge that gap when you're so on one side or the other,
Honestly, there's a couple of different actions that need to happen. First of all, there needs to be a shorter term gap. You can't go back and jump back in 1,000% to where you were before. Right. Your life is completely different. Your physical body is completely different. And what may have been might not be what's necessary for you right now in order to stay healthy. Healthy itself might look different now. So my recommendation, if I was your coach working with you and had a little bit more background, I would segue you into movement of choice to get your body fluid again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
oh, we lost her. I'm not sure if you guys. Okay. Okay. Oh, we lost her. I'm going to see if I can add her back into the stream. Okay. Sorry about that. This is why I use StreamYard. Is because, you know, it would be worse without it. So, okay. So she will log back on. So for those of you that can resonate with what I'm saying, what are some of the struggles that you have right now? So type that in the comments. What are the struggles that you have? I've talked to other coaches in the same boat. They are working on being able to have more energy. One of the things that I've noticed is it's just taken time to get to where I can, do like the more basic things, like a 5-minute little dance routine on my own in my living room, or yoga, stretching, and then I'm trying to think of other things I do. Sometimes I go play tennis. Sometimes I go on a walk, and so those are other things I have incorporated in as well. And so she keeps sending me these invites for the dance classes. And I'm like, oh, last time I did that, I pulled something out. And then I had a dance class that I scheduled and I taught it. It was amazing. It was fun. And I just felt so drained. And so I just was feeling energetically unaligned at that time. And I just wasn't feeling energetically supported somehow. And I've had that happen whenever I've gone to teach at facilities. I got invited to teach in Meridian at a preschool, and the night before, I couldn't sleep, and I was so sick I couldn't even teach the class. And so getting into a place where you can actually do those things is key. So but working up to it. Also trying to figure out where I'm misaligned. I'm not feeling supported somehow. My body is not supported, and I'm not energetically supported. And so it was out of alignment for me, so I stopped doing it. So sometimes we need to step back, take a break, and she's back on. So great. I can't wait to hear the rest of her thought on that. Okay, awesome, guys. So comment below if it's something that you can resonate with. Comment the word so get it if you understand what I'm talking about. Great, welcome back.
Thank you. Technology. Some days it works for us, some days it doesn't.
Exactly, and we're on StreamYard. What's up with that?
I don't know. So thank you for your patience, guys. This is life. And if you found that a scenario like that really got you worked up or frustrated, then you really need to work with me. You really need to check in with us and learn how to proactively respond to things versus reactively. Makes a big difference in your life and your mindset, and it helps you appreciate so much more, because little things are going to happen throughout life all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time. So Tammy, where were we?
We were talking about bridging the gap between, so I was just talking about how I got into a point where I can go on walks, and I can do yoga, I can do, play some tennis, and I can do dance. And so just bridging the gap into maybe teaching another dance class, or also doing, a class, like taking a class. Okay, looks like you froze on me again. We'll wait for you to get back. Okay, what is going on with my internet? I'm going to have to go push my internet button. I think that's what I'm going to do. So while we're waiting for her to get back on, I'm going to go push my button. Okay, I'm back. So hopefully she'll jump back on. So we're talking about bridging the gap. So what did I do to get to the place where I could do this? Just lots of nourishment, lots of self-care, alone time, getting my space, getting a lot of rest, making sure I'm nourishing my adrenals in multiple ways. I took things to nourish my adrenals, taking the break, getting a job that worked with my illness, being able to do on-call work when I'm well, rather than when I'm sick. Work with people that were able to accommodate my sickness, and and stay single. That was a huge one, is, getting out of anything toxic. Okay, she's back. Welcome back.
Okay, so I remember what we were talking about. We talked about bridging the gap between intention and action.
Okay.
Okay, and that's really what it is you have all of the intention there, but you're missing the missing piece, which is motivation, which turns your intention into action.
Okay. So now, let's backpedal a little bit. So I'm motivated. I do these things. I crash. I have. So this is for those of that are struggling with chronic illness or anxiety. You crash. You have an episode, maybe a PTSD flare up. Maybe you're struggling and you're flat on your back. So you're motivated, but then you get demotivated because of you just have no success, or you have the opposite thing happen. And so what would you say, how do you get motivated and if you just keep falling off the horse, with, having situations that come up repeatedly where you're not successful? Okay, so she'll probably jump back in. Hopefully we'll be able to get her back somehow. But yeah, that's my constant pattern. I have a pattern of that where I will get all excited. I'll be like, oh, I'm starting this dance class. And then I'll burn out really fast because I'm like, okay, that's too much for me. That's too much for my body to handle where I'm at right now. So I may feel balanced. I may have gotten a certain level of healing and balance. I'm able to work. I'm able to, run a business online. I'm able to go out and exercise more than I was before. I feel more at peace. I feel balanced. I feel like my PTSD is under control. But there's always those stressful situations that come up in life, or, choices we make to, that can throw us off balance. And for me, doing a regular exercise routine, joining a gym, being able to join a dance class, host a dance class, those things are too much for me. So it's about knowing our limits as well. So what are your limits? Just because, we reach a certain level of, healing, doesn't mean everything's perfect, but we're heading in that direction. So I can't wait to hear what she has to say about bridging that gap. And am I ready to take that next step, right? I guess that is one of the things I'm thinking about right now, is I can't wait to take one of her classes. She keeps sending me invites to her 15-minute dance class and fitness class. And I'm just excited to try that and see where I'm at. Like, this has been, let's see, it was last year I taught a dance class online. And I haven't done that since. And so maybe things have changed, So trying again, I feel a lot more balanced than I did even last year. So we'll see. Hopefully she'll be able to jump back on here. So I haven't had this problem. We haven't had this problem before. Not to this degree. So it must be the last day of retrograde. We'll just blame retrograde. Okay. So where are you guys at in the exercise spectrum? Do you feel like your exercise regimen gives you anxiety? If you feel anxious by your exercise regimen, type yes. So it actually should do the opposite for you. It should actually calm. If you have anxiety, it should actually calm you down. It should actually make you feel more energized and better. If you are experiencing compound anxiety, so like more anxiety, so maybe you have anxiety, you exercise, and then you feel really good, and then all of a sudden the next day you have more anxiety. That's a warning signal that you're overdoing it, and that your body needs to catch up on some nutrition. And it means that you may have too much stress in your life. It means that you're overdoing it possibly in your workout, and that you need to back off and slow down. So listen to your body. That's really a key. And so I love hearing other people's perspective on this, and I can't wait to hear hers. So that's what I say. If it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. If it feels good, then do it. And it may feel great at the time, and you may feel good for 24 hours, and then all of a sudden crash. And so make sure that you're listening to those signals in your body and slowing it down. I mean, it's just a sign that your body needs more nourishment and fuel before you start a workout. And you also need more downtime and less stress in your life. So maybe things that need to come off your plate, maybe you need to spread out the workouts. A lot of times I hear people doing stuff every day. And I mean, I remember in the 80s, it was like 3 days a week, 30 minutes. And so I think people are trying to overcompensate for our issues with obesity as a whole. And I think people have increased that energy and exercise to counter that. But I think that can be counterproductive because our body tends to hold on to weight when we're overstressed. And, if we're already, having a stressful lifestyle and having a stressful work schedule, we're already getting enough exercise. And we throw that ourselves into more stress by adding that, it can be counterproductive, and our body can actually hold on to that weight. So it's a balance. It's a fine line. Tell me what your goals are. What are some of your goals and struggles? Do you feel anxious whenever you are experiencing any kind of exercise? So if you just type yes. Type yes if that's something that you are struggling with. Okay. So let's change what would prevent us from knowing our bodies and what our bodies need and knowing their core needs. Let's change what would stop us from knowing that. And let's get clarity on what self-acceptance looks like and what self-acceptance is and what true self-love is. So let's download self-love, what it's like to have self-love. And let's get clear on what that is. And let's remove what would stop us from being able to move forward in a healthy way when it comes to exercise and being able to move forward in a more productive way that is most effective. And so if you'd like that, just say yes out loud and I will do the meditation. Okay. Sometimes I've had other coaches have a hard time getting on. So I know that had that happen where, I opted her in later because it was the internet. So here she is. Let's try again.
Third time's a charm, right?
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Talk fast.
Okay. No, I'm kidding. Essentially, the first thing we need to do is break down those goals because you want to start. You're motivated. You're going back to things that injure you. You need to start with different things that are going to keep you going, and you need to start smaller. Okay. So you're going with the goal in mind that you can do what you used to do, but you're ruling that out each time because it's not making you feel well. So you need to find something different, but and that's still going to bring that same excitement or thrill to you, or be open to try something new.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So you just made me think.
So change Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it would be cool, like if so I was taking one of your dance classes, for example, but not doing the full thing, just coming, being there, doing it at my own pace rather than full on. Because I like to go into things full on, and I will just get all excited, the whole Zumba class, and be flat on my back for a week after that. So
and that's the thing. So what if you make a commitment to try like a 15-minute class, and if it works, show up for the next one. So change your expectations where I'm going to try this. And if I like this, I'm going to come back. I might not like it during the first week, but what if I can shape my body in 15 minutes a day and it doesn't hurt? That old story might not be true in that area either.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Love it. Right. Well, the thought came to my mind is when you said modify it, I was like, well, I could actually just, instead of going full bore and doing the whole thing, just show up, just say, okay, I'm just going to go. I'm going to do some of it, and I'm going to do it at my own pace, and I'm going to do it at my own dancing pace. And I may only do 5 minutes, you know,
you may, but you may surprise yourself and you may do 15 minutes and realize, oh, that's it. Yeah. Like we're done. Like, it's a hard workout, but it's 15 minutes of my day or whatever it looks like to you. So it's a matter of going step by step, whatever you can do, starting with where you're at today, because the person you're at right now is completely different than the person you were in the past. And what you're doing right now is you're creating your future self by the actions that you do today.
Absolutely. Love it.
So what does your future self want to accomplish? Is she looking to be a dancer again? Okay. Does that mean she needs to strengthen her core and her cardio and her hand-eye coordination or whatever it looks like? So be open to receiving the ideas in different ways that might be disguised differently than what they would have been in the past.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So just being open to seeing things from a different perspective and open to, other kind of information.
Well, and it boils down to like the book from the 4 Agreements. Have you read the 4 Agreements? I believe you have. I think we talked about this before. Yeah. So one of the agreements is always do your best. And if you show up for class, 2 agreements, don't make assumptions and always do your best. So if you show up today with no assumptions as to whether you can or can't, or whether or not you just know based on recent experience that it's going to hurt you, so then you don't go to that level, right? But other than that, walk in with no assumptions and knowing that you're going to do your best. And if your best today is your very best, and it makes you proud enough to show up tomorrow, your best tomorrow is going to be even better than your best today.
Absolutely.
Love it. That's where you're going to see the difference when it comes to reshaping your life from the inside out.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. All right. So basically being open to try different things, try it a different way, and looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. And it can be as simple as finding a different instructor. Maybe your other instructor is no longer in business, but you loved everything about the results you got from that class. Mm-hmm. Be open to a different instructor, a different time that you may not like. It can be so simple or it can be difficult, but it can be as simple as finding somebody else that you're needed right now to guide you through the next step in terms of fitness or movement. So you can start, because what happens is when we start taking care of ourselves with movement, we start taking care of ourselves in other areas. Mm-hmm. Most people will not put the effort forward to move for other people. They have to be internally motivated or have their own why big enough to be able to motivate themselves to do the work. Nobody else is doing movement for you. I can't do your movement.
Oh, come on.
You can't do my movement.
Just kidding.
I would love to. I will do my movement with you.
Right.
And I will help you with your movement, but you really have to have your own reason why. And most people wait until they are medically told you have no choice. Lose weight. You have no choice. You're not going to live. Because we don't realize that, how it's impacting the rest of our lives. We're just living in a life. Most people are just living in a life where everything's okay. I'm gonna take you through a quick exercise, if I may, before I get cut off. I'm a little bit worried about getting cut off. So how many people have you ever spoke to in your life, whether it's recently, like a couple months, or years apart, where you've said, hey, what's new and exciting?
Oh, I don't know. I ask that every day to people in Messenger. It's hard to be able to put a number on.
Approximately, though, like, have you had countless of people in your life where nothing is ever new? Ever?
Not really. usually every once in a while I hear, oh, nothing's changed, you know.
Okay.
But well, for the most part, you know, there's some changes for people, I think, in general.
Okay. Well, my experience is completely different. So I'm happy to hear that that's your experience, that you're connecting with people that are always changing and growing. But I can tell you, when I circled back to St. Thomas about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago now, and I bumped into people that I had not seen in 20 years, not one thing had changed.
Oh,
What's
wow.
new and exciting? Nothing. What have you done in the last 20 years? Nothing.
Huh.
Okay. So, and I'm not saying or picking on St. Thomas by any means. This happens to a lot of people in a lot of places. You know, we tend to fall into the routine of our day-to-day life, but we want change. We want more, but we don't even know where to start. We just have no clue. Or some of us are afraid to even feel that they deserve more.
Wow. You're making me realize something, because I grew up in a culture where self-improvement was like totally key. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Say hi, tell us where you're coming from, and then also type, you know, where you're at in the comments. So yeah, I grew up in a culture that pushed, drove like self-improvement, changing yourself, and everybody's had changes, and there were positive changes. And so I was surrounded that. So I'm just noticing, I guess it's just, it depends on what culture you're raised in too. So
well, culture, school, education, peers, friends, who you looked up to socially then, and how you looked up to them. I mean, let's talk about the social influence that we've had. Most people our age or within our age brackets, and I can't speak for you, but I'm in my late 40s. I think we're the same age, aren't we? Around there?
40s, yeah.
Yeah,
40s.
yeah, we'll leave it at that, 40s.
Okay.
And, you know, when we were looking at magazines growing up, that was one of our social influencers then, and they all, every single model in those magazines looked perfect.
Wow.
Perfect, right? We would watch shows where the mom was at home with the kids, and, you know, it was a little bit more Leave It to Beaver style with a blend of the working mom, but not what we're all carrying today, men or women or whatever it looks like. So our role models were completely different to where we're at in society right now. I was not raised, I mean, I was raised with 2 working parents. Perfect, right? Nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't like they were sitting there saying you always need to up level, up level, up level. It was more, my dad's like, is that an educational book? Like, you know, you should be reading educational stuff that's good for you.
Good.
Yeah. But, you know, we had a balanced life, but it wasn't pushed down our throats. It was completely, post-secondary, recommended, highly suggested, you better go. But it wasn't the continuous learning I'm doing in my adult life at all. At all. And I find a lot of people aren't doing that. They're literally getting up, going to work, coming home, eating dinner, sitting down, repeat.
Okay.
Repeat.
Right.
So this is an invitation to anybody that's living that life that desires more. Let's connect. Let's see where we can get started in terms of movement, in terms of making some changes and balancing your day. What is it that you want? You know, are you one of those people that are working 5 days a week to have 2 days off to enjoy 2 weeks vacation?
Wow.
Are you one of those people that are working for retirement? And then what?
Right.
You know, I help people build all of that into their lives every single day. Whether it's movement, journaling, relaxing, it's enjoying that life now, whatever it looks like. And it comes with more movement. Of course it does. Movement brings energy. Everybody wants more energy.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So, and I find that too. You're reminding me that, you know, I do find that a lot of people just aren't motivated to take those steps, you know, and so that's, you know, that's not my ideal client, obviously, you know,
Right.
So I want someone who's self-motivated, who is ready to do the work, and who wants to have fun in the process and build, you know, long-term relationship. And so I guess I kind of just steer away from that. And I'm here to motivate you. Here's my group. When you're ready, I have Monday motivational meditation. But then there's the, you know, we're here. So what do you do whenever, you know, how do people get into that next step? How do they take that next step when they're not motivated? That's such a tough.
This is where I make the difference. You know, Tammy, you're bringing up a very good point. This is where working with me makes a difference. we become friends. It feels like you're sitting when you're chatting with me and we're doing coaching, it literally feels like you're sitting there over a cup of coffee or tea and chatting with a friend that has background and knowledge and experience and education in what you're talking about. But there's no pressure when you're talking to a friend, right? I'm not going to call Tammy out of the blue and say, here's all my baggage and all my crap and I'm beating myself up, but she's not going to let me. She's going to let me gripe if I need to, but then she's going to pick me up, or better yet, teach me how to pick myself up for next time. She's going to remind me that this is a moment in time and a pause, and that this too shall pass. And here are some modalities in the meantime to help you get there. So I am the accountability component. Working with me means you're ready for change. You might not know yet what that looks like or feels like, or how that's going to impact your time, your energy, your finances, your overall health. But you want change that bad that you just want to align and see where it goes. Because worst case scenario, you're going to be doing more than what you were doing now. You just might not know yet what that looks like. And that's what I do, is I help people discover what that looks like.
Okay. So if you're tired of, right, absolutely. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, you're tired of not feeling motivated, I'm talking to the audience here. If you're tired of wanting that goal of, maybe losing that 10 pounds or that 20 pounds, if you feel like you are living that 9 to 5 and you're not really getting anywhere, maybe in your personal life, your business or whatever, definitely reach out to Sonya here and check with her. Do you have any kind of freebies avavel? Any kind of resources? I know you always have some goodies.
I always have some good ones.
Why are you charging for this?
So there's a couple things. Here's the one mental thought that I want you guys to all take away with. If you are feeling stuck anywhere at all in your life and you just want more, or if you're actually living a life that is literally on hold until retirement, we need to talk. Because why do you think your future is promised? And why are you waiting till then to live your best life when you're going to be exhausted and you're going to be a limited more financially tight, and your mindset and your body is not going to be where it is today at all? So why can't you be living some of that life today? Yes, maybe it's not what it used to look like, but why can't it look like this? Why can't you enjoy what you're doing and bring more joy into your life and the life of others? So what I like to say is I help you get unstuck, ignite your passion, and move forward with new direction.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So hop on over, and I don't know if you can write this down somewhere, Tammy, but hop on over to www.freshapproachfitness.ca. And then maybe Tammy's going to be able to put this on the bottom of the screen here. And then go /ask Sonya. SONYA. Say it again.
Can you put that in the comments?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, just copy paste. That would be great. And I'm going to
go. Where do I? Okay, let's see if I can do this.
You just go into, actually, it's just my profile. You just go into my profile and you'll see us talking on there. I'll boot up too. See if there's anybody leaving any. Yeah, that would be great. So
go to Ask Sonya, and then what I want you to do is the kind of curious quiz. With that quiz, I will take you through your answers, and I promise I will give you 3 takeaways that you can implement at very, very, very little cost. If you decide that you want to do them on your own, it's a great starting point, and it's definitely going to help you start to shift what's going on now so you can create your future life. Start living your future life today. I'm just double checking AP. Promise. Okay. Oh. So I put it in the chat there, freshapproachfitness.ca /ask Sonya. Tammy, I'm not sure if people know if I should be saying anything, but I do podcasts every week.
Okay.
There's an email newsletter that goes out regularly if anybody wants to get some, like a bit of a blog, some information what goes on Monday to Friday. And I'm definitely here to answer any questions that you have in the areas of meals, mindset, movement, and money.
Awesome. So yes, if you'd like that, just click the link. All that information's on her website. And also she has fitness classes available. They're 15 minutes each. And I'm actually I'm excited to get the emails. I'm like, okay, that might work with my schedule. And then I'm always like at the have that hesitant. I'm like, oh, so I'm going to take that next step, Sonya. You're going to make me accountable, right? So I'm going to.
I am going to make you accountable. Here's the thing. I'm going to ask Tammy for a personal favor here, guys. Listen in. This is how I'm going to help her. Okay, listening. Tammy, can you come to one of my classes and just do a review to let me know how you liked it? Can you help me?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. So you all heard it here first. Tammy just said yes. She's going to come and help me and give me a review, but she's the one doing the work. So that wasn't that hard, right? And I am going to be there doing it with her. And I don't care which class. I don't care if she catches the recording. But here's the thing. She cannot do a review unless she shows up.
Right.
Okay?
That's true.
So I just found a way of making Tammy accountable to herself.
Right.
And this is what we need. And there's the majority of there's different personalities. And I don't want to take too long, but this is part of the mindset piece. But there's so many different personalities out there. But 2 out of the 4 main personalities require external accountability for their own self-care. Mm-hmm. We are so good. This 50%, we are so good at saying yes. And if it's in our calendar, we'll do it for other people. But if it's something for us or our business or our self-love or our self-care, whatever it looks like for us personally, it's easy to step away from. Mm-hmm. Well, it's time to flip that script and work with an accountability coach to make everything come to fruition.
Awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait to learn more about your program, your pricing, and try one of your classes. And you do 2 for free, right? So 2
yes, I offer 2 free classes. You can come to any of them. They are. Should I say the times quickly, or do we have time?
If you have something, we have time.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so Mondays and Wednesdays, it's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tammy, that's 5:30 Mountain Time for you. Okay. And 6:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays Eastern Standard Time. So Tammy will not be coming for those ones because that's 4:30 her time. But those ones are the ones you're going to want to hop into the Facebook group. You won't get access for this group until you are a paid client or you've got some sort of arrangement made with me in terms of if you're a paid member in one way or another, you do get access to Fusion 15 as an add-on. Or you can buy it separately. So it's a way of incorporating movement. So this one I know you will love because this is a standing core class with fluid movement. Your abs are on fire with this one. And I know it'd be working with your dance. You would love it. And then the final class is Fridays afternoons at 1:45 Eastern, which I know is an odd time. And I typically end up doing it myself, but you never know, right? Friday mornings, I have some appointments, and Friday evenings, people don't normally show up. So let's try the middle of the day. And here's the things. You can find these recordings. If I'm by myself doing the class, like on Fridays, you can find these recordings on YouTube.
Okay, awesome.
So you can try some of the Friday ones. Friday was more cardio. So Mondays and Wednesdays is full body with weights. Tuesdays and Thursdays is core, really cool core. That's all I have to say about that one. I know you'll love it. And then on Fridays, it's like a cardio version. All of these are 15 minutes. Guys, you're reshaping your body. You're dropping sizes and the non-scale victories. If this is the only thing you can commit to yourself, I welcome you. I invite you to try it.
That's awesome. That sounds exciting. I'm so excited to try it. So what is like the monthly, like if you, I know it's $15 a class, or do you have like a set monthly?
Yeah, it's $50 Canadian. Actually, it's $50 across the board. Yeah, $50 a month, 50.
Okay.
And you get unlimited classes. If you just purchase the classes on your own, you get the access to the recording and in the group. And there's lots of extra wins in the group, extra chances to win in the group.
Okay. So then they get the group as well as the $50.
So the community. So I guarantee you, we've got some members in our community that will keep you accountable. They will reach out to you and they will make sure that you get your butt to class. And it's not me.
Nice.
So for me, you're now meeting other people who are evolving and becoming leaders without realizing it. And that is the cool part of what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. That sounds great. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for the invite. And I'm sure that other people out there are excited to hear about that as well. And, sometimes we just need something new, fresh to keep ourselves motivated. and moving and accountable as well. So any final words to women that and how to make the exercise energize you instead of drain you?
Try it, because movement is going to get the blood flowing. It's going to energize you, especially if you can move in the morning before you start your day. Give this as a gift to yourself, for nobody else, for yourself. So there's a really great book I've read, and it's called The 5 a.m. Club. And it's a must read. It's on my book club list. And it talks about getting up and spending 20 minutes of your day meditating, 20 minutes of your day on movement, and 20 minutes of your day on something else. I forget what that is. But the 20 minutes of day on movement, if you can do it first thing in the morning, it's going to have optimal results, and you're going to be living that high all day long.
Okay.
So, and it's kind of like I'm getting up and taking care of myself before I take care of anybody else. You are literally putting that oxygen on your face every day before you deal with anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's empowering. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's where I struggle. That's where I struggle the most. If I get up and I go to work and I don't take a morning nap, I am just totally anxious and stressed the whole rest of the day. And so what do you do? Like, how do you get back into the being able to do that?
You show up. Here's the thing. When you pay for something, when there is something on the line, so there's no value in free. I am still building this because of the studio from last year. Part of our story from last year is my studio got closed. I chose to close it. There were so many unknowns that my husband and I decided to we're going to just move forward without it, because we just didn't know, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm doing everything virtually, and just like everybody else, it looks different, but is different wrong? No. Mm-hmm. But there is no value in free. So just because you can pop online and do it, you're not doing it right now. Tammy, you could sit here and say to me, Sonya, I've got all of the intention in the world, and if I'm going to work out, I'm just going to pop onto YouTube and do a video. And my answer as your coach would be like, well, how's that working for you? Right. It's not because Tammy's not doing it, because she's already said she's not doing it. So the information is readily available to us. That's not what's holding you back. Mm-hmm. It's you don't have skin in the game. You have nothing to lose. Well, if you don't show up for the month, that's $50 down the tube.
Right.
Gone.
That's true. Yeah, that's so true.
Okay. So when there is money on the line, what are you getting in exchange for that money? Well, $50 is a small price to pay for how much taking care of yourself is going to elevate your life. But start there. Right. Start there, because can you imagine a day where you're not responding through anxiety? Where anxiety is no longer part of your vocabulary, Tammy?
Right.
Can you imagine? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that worth more than $50? Absolutely, because you might be able to take an extra client or two.
Right. That's true.
How about not needing that morning nap?
Yeah, I'm getting away from that, actually. I'm noticing I'm getting up earlier and I'm not going back to sleep as I'm working on balancing my hormones, and I'm doing a hormone balancing diet, and I'm taking the creams, and I'm catching up on some much needed. I'm doing some hormone therapy, and I've been skipping my morning nap. So I think a lot of times, if we're low on our hormones or we're low on nutrition, or sometimes, and I was taking too much nutrition. I went off of most of my supplements, and so that helped. I was taking too much stuff. We can overdo it. So we can overdo it on one thing and not have enough of another. And so that's really helped me. So I think that's probably a next step for me. So I appreciate you helping me see that.
Well, and it can boil down to, and this is where I work with people on the habit tracker, and we come up with healthy habits that are sustainable for the life that you're living now and segueing into the life you want to live. Because the actions that you take today are building your future life. Right now, the person that's looking in the reflection on the computer, whoever you are, whether it's Tammy or myself or anybody else chiming into this, you right now are the sum of all of your activities from yesterday and the day before and the day before that. Everything that you have done up until this point has created your life right now.
Awesome.
Okay. So if you want to change your money, if you want to change your body, if you want to change your mindset, you have to do the work.
Absolutely.
But
So if we want it to
if
be
you
awesome, then we do that.
right. Suppose that like you get a tiara
Yes.
and you wear it all day when you celebrate successes, and then people are wondering like, why are you wearing a tiara? And then it's like, because I'm excited and I earned it.
Yes, awesome. So yes, we're with the arrows, ladies. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, helping us to, figure out how to, take that first step and energize, re-energize, and hit those successes, create those wins. And any final words before we jump off?
You know what? Thank you. First of all, thank you for listening and for chiming in today. I will be posting this. I'll get a copy from Tammy. I'm sure it's going live on my Facebook page, but I'm not 100%. And if it's not, I will put a copy of this out, and we will also post it on YouTube if we can as well. So you'll be able to catch the replay. But any final words to anybody listening and not knowing where to start, I invite you to set up a discovery call with me. Let's chat. Let's see where you're at and what would work best for you, and just have a conversation about what's possibly holding you back. So Tammy, if it's all right with you, I'm going to put my calendar invite on here as well. And then people can just book a time to connect with me, even if it's a 15-minute conversation. I welcome anywhere in the world to do this. And you'll be surprised if you give yourself a chance, what could be different.
Absolutely. So make sure you go take that quiz, set up that appointment, get accountable, go try some of those dance classes. And thank you so much for joining. Thank you for adding the value here. It's been such a pleasure working with you the last, what has it been, 2 or 3 years now?
It's been about that long. Yeah.
So it's great. And I was able to coach with her, and I was able to go through part of her program, and it's a really amazing value and stuff. So yeah, it's lots of value. So thank you so much for, offering your time today and all your value. And yes, keep in touch in the comments. If you have questions, make sure you reach out to us. And we will be answering in the comments if you come back and watch the replay, #replay. And we will be looking at those comments and making sure we answer back to any of questions that you might have. And so thank you so much. And you guys have a fabulous rest of your week and day. And, happy exercise, everybody.
Thank you. And Tammy, thank you for being spontaneous and patient.
Oh, you're welcome. I deal with tech issues all the time, and you know me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, let's just laugh, because that's all we can do.
That's all we can do. And again, it's part of life, and life doesn't always go our way. But okay, if I'm not quiet now, I'm going to talk all day. So I better let you guys go, and we can do another mindset talk later. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Make sure, and speaking of which, there will be networking in my group starting in July, first Tuesday in July. So if you or anybody out there that wants to share their offer, make sure you come to that, share that. You can share your offer then as well. And if you know of anybody else that wants to join, make sure you bring them. And if anybody out there watching wants to share your freebie, your offer, we're going to be doing that networking event first Tuesday of July. I have all of the schedule posted in my group. And so if you want that link, it'll be live in the group. So speaking of which, I was reminded of that. So thank you for reminding me. So bye, everybody. Bye.